So today I've been doing the next section of It Ain't Necessarily So. So we've just gone from Allegro Gioioso and we're now at Tempo 1, which is my next section. And this section kind of lasts for like 2 and a bit lines. And that's quite a short kind of section to be working with. But I've done it like this because I could just go from tempo 1 right through to allegro, but in that big section there would be harmonics, double stopping, lots of shifting about, and lots of like different rhythms to work with. Same ones, but kind of like mixed up in different ways. So I've worked it kind of like this because I like that I have the more challenging bits separate, so not that I've kind of clumped it all together and I have one big section of challenges to work with, but instead this way I have one section with one big challenge and the next section with another big challenge. So this section I have harmonics as my challenge, which I've always talked about in videos and always said that they are something that I find hard to deal with. So again, I'm using repetitive practice, separating them out some of the time into the different uses that we do with harmonics. So we have the bottom note and the top note sometimes. So instead of kind of playing them together, I do them at separate times sometimes. So I'll go from the bit before, which is just normal notes, and then I'll just take the bottom notes of the harmonic section, and then vice versa. The second time I'll take the top notes of the harmonic section to practice them. Separating them out really makes sure that you know the intonation for both the top and the bottom note, which is really important with these sections, because if your intonation isn't bang on, then your harmonic is going to sound squeaky and out of tune and just not nice to sound at all. So we move on in this section to another. So at the beginning we have the melody, and in this section we have the same rhythm and the same kind of shifts and that kind of thing, but on the lower string. So we're working with the D string in this section really, and a bit of the G string, whereas in the last section just before the Allegro Gioioso we were working with the E string and the A string, which are obviously higher strings on the violin. So here it's just kind of an imitation of that. We have the same patterns, the same rhythms, a different, but all they're different notes. So the harmonic section is lower in this bit, all the notes are lower. Then we're kind of moving into this, we start to see a different kind of pattern with the composer's work. So we've been seeing this really smooth, jazzy, slidey. We're staying with that, but we're using different notes. So totally different. We're not kind of relating back and imitating anything from the previous sections. We've got a totally new thing to work with, which we're kind of just musing about with. So this bit has a lot of accidentals in, which is quite typical for the jazz genre of music, where we fit in lots of different slides, accidentals, triplets, that kind of thing. So here, this I don't find much of a challenge, and I quite like playing through it. But again, the intonation has to be really spot on because it is using a lot of shifting, a lot of sliding. And then we're kind of finishing on quite like a simple level. It's just dun 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 on a D. On the A string, we're quite chill out with that bit. So I'll play you this bit and you'll kind of see what I've been talking you through. The challenges I'm working at are the double stops, the intonation, and I think that's about it for this section really. Just intonation is the key here for all of it, because you can't get those harmonics right if you don't have good intonation, and the rest of it is very focused on that, because when you're shifting you want to hit the right notes at the right time, and without perfect intonation you're not going to really do that. that was that section. I'm just going to play that harmonic section again because I wasn't quite happy with it. So as you can see, that last practice that I did through that, I took it a lot slower because I just wasn't getting it. So taking things slowly and taking things in different rhythms is really essential for getting things right. And I'll keep on practicing that harmonic section. But from that playthrough there, I can see that the harmonic section is the bit that I need to keep practicing. But the rest of it, I kind of can take my focus off it, and I don't really have to practice it every single day. But I know from my past experiences I do have to keep practicing it, just not so much as other sections. I know my Allegro Gioioso section is okay now. So from running through these passages, I get a feeling for what I need to focus on and what I don't need to focus on. And from this one, I know the section I need. The rest of it is fine. Next time I'll be working on the next section, which is still in tempo 1, but I've split up, and I explained why at the start of this video. Thanks, guys.